First of all, before we start, I want to say that for me it's a great event. I hope you enjoy it too. It is a pleasure for me to meet a lot of customers and friends and hear their experience. So first of all, before we start with the questions, I want to thank Shai. Shai? He's the organizer of the conference, and you have succeeded. And thank you for joining us on stage. We will start with a few questions that I will ask, and then we will open it up to questions from the audience. So if you want to prepare, think about the questions that you want. So let's start with introducing yourself and your company and the CSM team. Sharon.
Hi, Sharon from Atera. Atera is basically, like I mentioned in my presentation before, we are a SaaS-based company that what we do is an IT management platform. Our target audience is SMBs that want to use IT management products. We are a low-touch company, 4,000 customers worldwide. The majority of our customers are in the States.
Hi, I'm Yael from Siren, a cyber security company. We provide services around the areas of internet security and email security, anti-malware, anti-phishing, and so on. Our customers are diverse from different verticals, and I think that's the important part.
Hi, I'm Tal. I manage the customer success team in WhiteSource. What WhiteSource does is a platform for managing open source from compliance and security perspective. It's a SaaS platform. We are 160 employees right now, and we have 10 customer success managers, both in the US and Israel.
Hi everyone, my name is Liad. I'm a senior customer success manager at Bizzabo. Bizzabo is a SaaS company that provides our customers with an event success platform. So we mainly target at event teams and marketing teams in B2B companies. Our team, CS team, is around 22 employees from New York and Israel, and the entire company size is a little over 100.
So let's start. What is your advice for a company that doesn't have a customer success organization yet? In your opinion, what is the right time to add customer success, and how would you convince the CEO to add a customer success function?
So let me maybe start with the second question, and that is, what is the right time? And I think that it goes down to the question of, if customers are important to your organization, then the time is now. Forgive me for using the term, but if you want to keep your customers happy, then coming and thinking of customer success and building that culture into your organization, that is the time to start and do that. Now, I think that my most important advice when thinking about customer success is data. Because if you'll have the data, then you'll be able to persuade whoever you need within the company that there is a need for customer success. But data means that what are the different processes that you have in your company, and identifying the different gaps that you have within your processes in order to identify where customer success is needed. And for example, I think that in our company, and I'm sure that other companies as well, when you look at the process, there is a good chance that you're going to see a gap between which is the handover between the sales or the pre-sales and the post-sales. And I think that this is where customer success is so valuable, in understanding that they can take that gap and really build it into a whole customer cycle. So identifying these gaps and building the process around that, and building into that some education within the company of what is customer success and what is the value of having customer success. Once you have these points and the answer for them, then you can go and actually explain what are going to be the benefits of having customer success. And again, it goes to data and numbers, and that's how you convince your CEO in the end.
Okay, so Yael pretty much covered most of the things. That was a detailed answer. I think we are in a conference today of customer success. At 2019, we need to convince someone that we still need customer success, then something is very wrong. Like, if you need to come to your CEO and tell them, like, this is an important team or function in the organization, hire a new CEO. No other department or team in the organization is going to directly deal with churn or with retention of customers. Support are not going to do that. You're not going to save churn from good support. Bad support can cause churn, but not proactively prevent it. And not product, not any other team. Only customer success. It's the only function in the organization that cares about customer retention. I think it's clear now when we don't need to convince anyone. And I hope that's the situation in most companies. Like, I don't feel or we should be in a point that we justify ourselves or our existence. Atera is around 60 employees now. We're going to be 70 employees by the end of the year. I was the 8th hire in the company. It's that important for us, okay? And I think that should be the case for anyone else.
Thank you. Liat and Tal. Can you describe the evolution and the growth of your customer success team? How do you justify to executives adding more people to the CS team?
So I think that when I joined and I was the 18th employee and it was a little bit too late to start a customer success team, I pretty much did everything, support, pre-sale, success. And when I think that the first thing needed to be done is just to map the current situation, understand the customers, create visibility of how they're using, what they're using, who is not using the tool. And once we did that and we understood where we stand and we start being proactive about it, starting an onboarding process, for example, then we realized the amount of work needed to be done. And understanding that together with the situation that customers were in, then it was pretty much straightforward to understand that more people are required in order to make this team bigger. And I think that the success of the customers, it was important to show it internally. And once we got feedback from the customers, like good feedback, then we realized that this is a team that is important for the company, the success of the company.
I think that what's interesting in emerging companies is that, for instance, for us, we have 3 co-founders. So when they just started to build the company, they were customer success managers, because eventually they were the ones who were in touch with customers, and eventually that evolved into understanding, okay, we have a product, we actually need a team. So then even our sales representatives would be the ones who would sell the product, but then also accompany the customers post-sale. So there is an evolution, I guess, determined the size of the company. I joined Bizibo around 3.5 years ago, and I was the only CSM in Israel, while our team had around 2 CSMs in New York, and then it just continued to grow there because 70% of our customers are based in North America. So their growth was more substantial. Today we have 3 CSMs in Israel and 8 CSMs in New York. But I think that also the customer success team is not only customer success managers, but there's obviously the client services or the support team, which also grew. So we also had the same hats as CSMs at the beginning. I would own support, and we would have different time zones to answer support tickets. But eventually, when we realized that we want to distinguish between the trusted advisor and the one that answers support tickets in how the customer sees us, then we decided to split those departments and to add in support representatives that will help on with those. So it's an evolving team that every time we felt like we need to be established more and to have more focus with our customers, we just added more and more customers, more CSMs to the team.
Okay. As a leaders, how do you guide new CSM, new customer success manager, as far as the right communication with customer. For example, with angry customers, about to churn customers, when do you know your new CSM is ready to lead a discussion with the customer?
This is a tough question for us because we are a low touch. Basically, we do with our higher touch customers, we do QBRs, okay? So the CSM gets in the relevant timing, they get the flags that they need to contact the customer. And usually during the introduction to the company, the CSM introduction to the company, they have 2 weeks training about the product, and then 2 weeks training about CSM methodologies and working instructions and whatever, and how we handle customers. And then they sit another month with another rep and see how this rep is working. And then we know they are prepared to work with customers. But again, we have human engagement only for around 4% of our customers. But we make sure our reps know to do that. It takes around 2 months to qualify them to reach this point.
So, I'll start from maybe somewhere in the middle. You asked about how do you guide CSMs to deal with, let's call it angry or unhappy customers. Since we do have ongoing communication with customers, and my experience shows that when a customer is unhappy, speak to him. That's very important. And I think my main suggestion is, first of all, let him vent. Let him speak, because a customer who needs to vent is not going to listen to anything that you say. So first, let him vent, be empathic, listen to the things, try to collect as much information as possible, and promise him and make sure that you stand up to your promise that you're going to get back to him with an update on the situation. Don't try to analyze the situation. Gather information, because again, it's not a situation where a customer is going to be very attentive to whatever you have to say. But then again, it goes back to who are the CSMs that you're going to bring into your organization, and it really depends. You said that it's low touch, and it really depends on who are your customers and what are your expectations from the CSMs, and accordingly, you need to know that different people have different personalities. And give them the tools that they need in order to deal with the customers, and how to address your product and how to address the customers. And definitely, shadowing at the beginning, and then let them lead discussion, let them lead conversation with customers, let them make mistakes, but then go over the mistakes with them and make sure that they understand how they can do better in the future. And I think that let them grow, and some people will do that quicker than others. It depends if they're coming with experience or not. But then again, I think that since customer success managers need to deal with different customers, and they need to have the ability to kind of have a lot of different expertise, then it sometimes might take longer for different people until they get into that successful position.
So in White Source, the product is pretty technical. So I think that the first thing a new customer success manager needs to do as part of his onboarding process is learn the environment of our customers. Our customers are developers, DevOps, security, legal. So I think that like for 2 weeks, all they need to do is just create an environment, a technical environment, understanding all integrations, all tools, or at least most of them. And it's not just someone comes and train you about everything. You also need to be able to learn things yourself, because our technology is continuously changing. As a customer success manager, you always face a situation that you never faced before. So you need to be able to investigate things by yourself and to be with enough confidence to talk with your customers about their pains and their things they need to deal with. Once you do that, in parallel, we're taking this approach, then you shadowing a lot experienced customer success managers to have some kind of experience. You do internal simulations with other customer success managers to get feedback, and not with just one, with team leaders, with myself as well. We documented different best practices, and once you do that, you start getting your own customers, doing an onboarding, doing calls, and someone shadows you in order to provide you with some feedback. Then once you did that, your onboarding is not completed, because we always learn, we always share knowledge between us, but I want our customer success managers to feel enough confidence to handle tough situations by their own.
So not to add on and not to be repetitive, one of the things that we have, we call it Biz Coach, and it's basically having a senior CSM which accompanies, it's kind of how the senior CSM would just shadow over their training. They're the main point of contact for anything that they need to ask about the product. We usually, one of the factors that we would consider is not to give new onboarding accounts to new CSMs, since it's very sensitive, and we know that retention is also reliant on that. So we want to make sure that they get customers that are not before renewal and not onboarding. So at least 4 months before renewal, we also won't give them an account, and we'll give them kind of the in-between. One of the additional things that we'd also make sure that they're aware of our values. So Bizibo has also 8 core values, and we want to make sure that the interactions that they have with our customers are very focused with the values of our company.
Thank you. I would like to open it to the audience. Okay, just a second.
Hello. Hi, my name is Tomer. I'm from ScyllaDB. Our product is a NoSQL database. We engage with customers, mostly enterprise or medium size, around deal size $50,000 or more, 6 digits mostly. And my question is this: I'm the first customer success. I'm a solution architect. Got the mandate to be also customer success for about 40%. And what I'm facing is our account executives, our salesperson, but they're named account executives. They have problems letting go, and they still want to be the ones that handle every interaction with the customer, including when the customer are having issue, to have the conversations with him when he's in trouble or will churn. And how do you, did you face anything like that? And how did you got the mandate to stop being shadowed by the account executives and enable the customer success manager to handle these things on his own, due to the background, which in my case is very, very technical, and I can engage with the customers in a much more technical level than the account executives?
Okay, I'll go. I think that I'll use a term that has been used today a lot, and is being used around customer success, and that is value. And I think that, I mentioned it earlier, that there's a stage in a company that when you introduce customer success, you also need to do some internal training or education to the value that customer success brings into your organization. And you need to maybe see how you can show these account executives and the sales teams that there is a value to having you in the beginning, part of that discussion, and slowly and surely let you take over the process. And that is going to be a process. It's not going to happen overnight, but just think of what are the different ways in which you can show them that and work with them, not against them.
I think that it doesn't matter if you are doing it or someone else. Someone needs to do it, okay? And you need to work with your management, with the CEO, to set borders straight. People are very protective about their work. Probably they're not going to let it go. And if churn rates are high, someone needs to stop them, okay? And it doesn't matter if it's X, Y, or Z. Someone needs to do it. So once you define that someone needs to do it or someone needs to do it, then it's easier to decide and set the borders, okay? I think the discussion should not be if it's you or someone else. The first discussion should be, it has to be done, okay? And once it has to be done, it doesn't matter, for this case, if you're going to take people from the sales team and make them do it, or if you're going to do it. The one that is better and more fitted to do it will do it. That's my 2 cents.
Question?
Hi, my name is Dina, and I work for a company that has 2 headquarters, one in Israel and the second in Miami. And I find it very difficult to streamline processes between the CS teams. So if you can speak a little bit about the challenges that you have in bridging between the CSMs across regions, because from what I understand, most of you have teams in Israel and offshore.
I think, first of all, I relate to that, and I think that even though today maybe we strive to have better processes, we're still in those challenges. One of the things is that we have, first of all, our CS team is also divided to 2, so other than the fact that there's another 8 CSMs in our New York office, my direct team, which is a smaller team, which is half of it, so we also have 3 additional CSMs, so it's like a bigger CS team and a smaller CS team, and they're all there, so we need to kind of find communication points. One of the things, first of all, we use Slack a lot, which is also a great tool to kind of interact, and I read things after work hours, obviously, and reply maybe when they will see it in the morning. We have team meetings with our CCO as well and our CS directors bi-weekly and weekly. So that way we also have kind of a sync where each CSM can share maybe one of their challenging stories, because we also have KPIs that are team KPIs and not only individual KPIs. We're also very keen on being involved with how they're doing with their customers as well, so they share perhaps maybe a risky account that is not going to renew, or that they're challenged with renewing them, and then we could kind of brainstorm on how we can help them, or kind of give them ideas on that. So that's pretty much.
In our team, we also have a team in Boston and team in Israel. I think that, well, for start, one of the things that besides Slack and team meetings, also me engaging with other managers in order to align different gaps, and not only with the team itself, but with the manager of the sales team or their pre-sale. So it's all about sharing the information. We also had training in Israel when the team came to Israel, so we went out and stuff like that. So creating different experiences together is also something that helps. And also having, for example, a specific member in the team who is the champion of a specific topic or specific feature in the product, and he needs to train other members across the seas also help, because it causes situations when people ask questions and share knowledge more frequently.
Questions? No questions? So I have more. Okay. When you look at the modification in your product over the last year, would you say it make your life easier or not? And can you share an example?
So I can answer both. The product is continuously evolving. I think that every week there is a lot of new features being released. So being able to learn all these things so fast is a challenge. But on the other hand, I can say that all of the team work really closely with our product management team. Me personally is, I don't know, in at least 4 or 5 meetings a week with the R&D, with the VP R&D and VP product, in order to provide some feedback about different features. So, for example, the integration as part of the onboarding, a specific part of the onboarding was really complex. So one of the capabilities that now the product have is something that makes this integration much more easier and makes the onboarding process of our customers much more quickly. Another thing is being able to develop a certain report that shows the customers the value of the product. So we understood that we need to show the value of the product as part of the product itself. So this is something that is now a new capability of the product. So it also makes my life easier.
I think that the question should be, how do we make our customers' life easier? Because eventually, if my life is easier, then, or for instance, the other way around, if my customer's life is easier, then my life is easier, because that means that they're reaching their success goals, and eventually we see the direct influence on that through surveys or the fact that they're submitting in reviews and sharing their positive feedback. There's a lot of touch points with our product team. I think that one of the main advantages that we have is one of our founders is the CCO. So having someone in the core who lives, breathes customer success and is always thinking about it. So he's constantly in touch with our product team, beyond the fact that we also have initiatives called product managers for key accounts, and also nurturers for key accounts. So that really shows that we have valuable logos and we give them the extra attention, so our product is super involved in those things. It's just basically a lot of touch points internally, and we can see that if it affects our customers as well.
I'll just add a few words. In my opinion, the communication between customer success and product management is highly valuable. By the end of the day, assuming that you have a product team that understands that communication with customers is important and they need to get information from customers, then that's exactly where this, good relationship comes into place, because then it's really customer success team responsibility to bring the product team into conversation with the customers and let them hear the feedback directly. And I think that's something that is highly valuable. And there's no replacement to that, and building that open communication between the customers and the product management without having the product team needing to reach out to the customers or run after that feedback, but bring that feedback to the product management team, then I think that's a win-win situation.
I'll add a few words. I think customer success teams, they usually have day-to-day contact with customer more than product. Okay, product see the product in high level, but they don't get the feedback from the field. We have regular interfaces with our product team. Okay, we do some trivial stuff like churn eliminators. We tell them what bugs are causing the highest churn rates, what features are missing from our product, just to keep up with the competition. And we try to give them insights about business value the product can bring to customers. I think that one of the routes is to keep up with the competition, and the other route, if the company wants to stay ahead of other companies, is to have some kind of edge or something new that other competitors don't have. If you just run with the competition, you're going to stay somewhere in the middle. You're not going to break and make a big success. So I think my reps, the value that they bring to the product team, give them the best understanding about the business value our customers can get.
I have a question, and this is something I've been dealing with in my own company. By the way, I'm Ronald Wrong, and I actually represent a product called Vertica from Micro Focus. We are basically now trying to build a team, and we have a bit of a difference of opinion between support and sales. And we have, where does it belong, is the first one. And second of all is, we do have retention and churn as part of that customer success management function. Should we be commissioned or not?
I think that there should be some kind of model for customer success reps to have some KPIs, and when they hit those KPIs, they should have some commission bonus. And if you're asking about the differences between customer support and why when support are doing stuff, they don't get commission, and when CSM are doing stuff, they do get commission, I think it's just relevant to the function in the organization. It should be playing out clearly that like sales getting commission, it's part of the salary, and that's how it should be, and it's okay. Like there's support, and you know, some functions in the company, developers, they get higher salary, so just like developers get usually higher salary, CSM reps, they should get some commission plan for their achievements.
I agree.
We agree we should have commission.
Hi. My question is regarding the solutions architects or the engineers or whatever name everyone wants to use for these technical helpers. Do you guys, from best practices, do you think it's better to have them sales and then success split, or to have them stay the entire way? Or what's working with you guys? It's not really working so well at my company, which is why I'm asking.
I can tell you how it worked for us, okay? So we have support and we have customer success, okay? And
It's not support though.
yeah, I know. Technical people, let's call them, and customer success. They are technical, but they are less technical than the technical people, okay? Like for us, customer success, it's a mentality. It's different the mentality than technical people. And when customer success need technical assistance, so they bring the higher tiers from the support, bring them to the meeting, bring them to the session to help them. But the technical people are not part of the customer success team. Technical people are part of technical teams.
My question is for Yael. I also have a cyber background, and my question is, how much focus will you put on a CSM candidate who do not have any cyber experience or background whatsoever, but he does have amazing individual skills and everything that you really need to have in a CSM, but zero background in cybersecurity?
So it's interesting because I think two additional people addressed that today. I think Chilik and also Yossi.
I was one of them as well.
Okay. So I think that I mentioned earlier, some customer success managers come with experience and knowledge and some do not. And I think that identifying that the personal skills that the person has and a little bit of a background, okay, so maybe he doesn't have a clear background in cybersecurity, but he has some background in related technologies. And through your conversation and interviews with the person, you understand that the person has the ability to learn this world, then I think that's probably a good enough, okay? And I think basically, and I think it was, you know, just to address the previous question, customer success manager, yeah, he needs to be or she needs to be the trusted advisor. But I think it's okay if the technical knowledge is up to a point where they know who is the right person to bring into the discussion. Okay, so even if they're not the best experts in cybersecurity, and I certainly would not put myself in that position, I know a lot, but probably there are people in the company who know more, but I know when to bring them into the discussion and how to engage with the customer in the right method. So I think really the personality of the person and identifying the merit that he needs to be a good customer success manager, those are more important than maybe the specific cybersecurity knowledge.
Thank you.
Okay, last question. We didn't prepare it before, but can you share one tip for product, for customer success leader or customer success manager from your experience?
One tip. I'm going to say something that maybe it's not politically correct. I'm sorry, but a lot of things that are not politically correct were said here today, so I'm not going to be the first. Here's a trick that is working for us, okay? We are doing IT management, so 99% of our customers are men. Okay, so we found out that since this is our crowd audience, even if there is crisis, or even if there is a big mess, when they talk to a woman, it reduces the anger levels, okay? Men don't allow themselves to talk to a woman like they talk to a man, so this is working for us, okay? I think it's related to a question that was asked before. A customer success rep talking with a customer is shouting on him, and then switch with another female customer success, and suddenly everything is okay. And that's what we do. For example, if we have a crisis, people are going into chat, and if they see a picture of a man, they shout and curse him, but if they see a picture of a woman, they say, oh, sometimes things happen, it's okay, it's fine. So this is a small trip that is... By the way, I don't know how it's working with women and women. I know that it's just working for us with men. But I didn't want to say that.
I have no words after that one. I don't know. Just to continue maybe with your point, listen. And I think that really it's about the personality of the customer success manager and being able to listen internally and externally. So listen to what you hear within your company and build that communication within your company as well as you do with your customers.
So I really relate to that, and I think that sometimes we want to pass all the information and all the knowledge, and sometimes just stop a little bit and listen is important. And together with that, you know, to ask the right questions, because I think that it's okay to ask them questions and not assume we know everything from the start. And once we allow ourselves to be a little bit curious and to ask the specific question that is relevant to our specific customer, and we listen, then it makes our work much better.
I guess I would say we call it in Hebrew rosh gadol. I guess it would be like being proactive. Being proactive also puts you in the place where you could be considered as the trusted advisor, where you go beyond for your customers and where you can see potential and interesting use cases on how they can use the product, and just doing more for your customers.
So thank you very much for taking the time talking to us. And